you guys a little bit of background about who I am. I'm a single mom. I'll be 48 this year. And I've been through some ups and downs in my life, basically, from making the wrong decisions and being around the wrong people. I dropped out of college around 19. And now I'm back in the same college that I dropped out of at that early age. I didn't have family support to support me in any type of way, morally, mentally, um, educationally, to promote me to stay in school, or even that was a great thing to be in college, right? So now I'm back and I'm studying again, getting through my classes, and I was just thinking, like, what is all of this about? Why was I targeted for this gang stalking? Um, like I said, my first initial thought was my daughter's father, who is my son's stepfather. He violated him, he raped him, and sodomized him. I believe that he also recorded it and may have put it on the dark web to make money. But that second part is just the belief. I know he'll do anything for money, and I do mean anything. So I'm not sure if this involves him trying to sell me or my children to some type of organization or wherever this is originated from. We live in 2022 where technology is afoot. Google can track you any and everywhere with your permission or without. This is not the problem. The problem is that there are people other than governmental entities that can also tap into your phone and also have hidden cameras in places where you're supposed to have privacy, or so they tell us, right? And I'm going over looking at different websites and I'm noticing some things. I'll show you. I found this particular one when I went to it, the one at the top that says Gang Stalking Lawyers, TKNOM.de. This one turned out to be a bust. And this one, Lawyers on what is gang stalking. The victims of gang stalking and psychological harassment can be individuals from any racial and cultural background. The victims can be males or females of any age, of any educational background, or within any community. The point here is that anyone can unfortunately become a victim of gang stalking. And I'm not sure how they choose or how they've chosen to do certain things. I assumed that it would take a group effort or a particular person that was connected to this type of entity, group, or people in order to put some innocent person within it. My point here is to show everything as a logical base. Everything that has a pattern usually was planned in order to make that pattern like a blueprint, right? So if these people, which they have chosen to target me, then they must want a particular outcome or are looking for something. They're just not doing all of this for nothing and putting in so much effort, research, and not to mention funds to do this. So, as you can see in the second one over here, that says gangstalkingresearch.wordpress.com 2001/04/24/gangstalking lawsuits, um, the U.S. You can see it. It has a couple of dashes in there. And it says gang stalking lawsuits, the U.S. Attorney and the FBI are ... dot dot dot. As I have documented, this person says, repeated repeatedly for over 5 years, much gang stalking files under law enforcement radar flies under law enforcement flies under law enforcement's radar because it is organized gangs. This person thinks it's organized gangs of female stalkers doing it. I particularly think it can be almost anyone, men and women. In my case, I've noticed more men than women. And we have this one that says gang stalking mind control cults.com. Fight dash back dash how dash to dash build dash evidence dash of dash organized. And before I even got here, I started building evidence, as you know, me recording and just documenting everything that's already able to be proven. And if you're going to take, you know, the time to do something and you say, okay, well, these cars, like just when I was coming into one of the buildings at the university, there was a car that tapped their horn and then revved up as I came into the door. And yeah, you know, that's something that they do, one of those want to scare you type things. But there's also times that was around 9:40 to 10 o'clock that I came into the building. There's security recordings. And just like by my home where I live, I reside directly in the back of a city college, which they have security cameras in their garage. So days and years of these particular cars going past. And let's just stop with the days and years. Let's just start with when I start documenting everything. If I have months of documentation and this can be proved up against the security cameras and the cars that are going in and out constantly, which are usually the same cars or the same couple of cars constantly during these time periods. They're not getting out. They're not doing anything but driving past to be a nuisance, a noise nuisance, noise campaign, right? So this is part of the evidence, part of the building of documentation. I still don't comprehend the people that have picked and chosen to do these acts. I don't comprehend who gets picked out of all of this. Because when you're out here and you're not doing anything but taking care of your two kids and trying to do that at the best of your ability, and you have a disabled child that you're also trying to take care of to the best of your ability, and also gain guardianship of him after he turns an adult, what is the point of all this? Because they feel that I'm isolated or I don't have family. Well, I have family. My children are my family. And there are many people that care about me and love me. I don't associate with many people because that's my choice. I don't have to. But I still have people that I care about. Are me and my family close? No, we're not. Are there people outside of my family that I consider as family that I care about? Absolutely. So, to go back to the computer and reading some of the gang stalking material that they have on the internet in reference to this fight back, how to build evidence. Protect yourself from organized gang stalking. Learn to fight back and practice peaceful but highly informed, nonviolent resistance. Document gang stalking for a civil lawsuit. Of all the difficult tasks any individual could ever imagine, certainly documenting organized gang stalking for a civil lawsuit is probably one of the hardest, or one of the hardest. And then this other one that says gang stalking research, gang stalking cases and lawsuits. Nearly 100% of gang stalking involves current and retired police, military, intelligence, and security personnel violating the law. And it says in this person's case, they traced and tracked many of their personal stalkers and sued few of them, shut down a security company and won a settlement. So he says, and they need to go to jail. Absolutely agree with that. And at some point, I can't say who's involved, but I know the people that are involved. Some of them are very reckless in how they do what they do, and I find it very peculiar because on a number of occasions, I've tweeted the FBI, you know, about this situation with all of my information, hoping that they would contact me. No one has. And I've taken other measures. And I'm still working with some other people. But in these situations, it's hard to know who you can confide in because they do have their tentacles in so many different lanes. And I won't even say that all of the lanes are suspect, but I will say there are individuals within those lanes that are suspect and are part of the whole collaboration. So basically, to come back around to everything, it seems that most of these websites will tell you that DHS and the government and governmental entities are attached to this gang stalking. So therefore, the targeted people, quote unquote victims, and the people that are going through this don't have the luxury of being protected or someone having their back in these situations because they are a part of the situation. And I'm reading, learning, and listening. And it is very interesting how these things have been able to take effect. I remember I had a actual service come out to check for hidden cameras. And he did a search, but he was also an ex-CIA, and the search wasn't very detailed. It only took about an hour, maybe an hour and a half to sweep the entire house. And it was just him by himself, and he didn't have a ladder. And he got a couple of hits on his tracker for a listening device or some type of device that was connected to the Wi-Fi. And I noticed it, but he seemed to just, sweep that under the rug. Like I said, from what I'm reading, these entities and organizations and different parts of the system are connected. People have written and wrote about Do I know this for a fact? I don't know that for a fact. I can suspect that that would be true because how would they be able to get away with so much? I've made multiple reports about cars that are constantly circling an elementary school. Nothing seems to have been done because I don't, I haven't heard of anyone talking to the actual school asking for video of these cars. Nothing seems to be of interest. And usually that's because someone already knows what's going on, so they're not going to look into it because there's nothing to look into. And this was something that I wanted to bring to your attention, anyone that may watch the video to see, what it's about. But anyway, I'll start a new video so that it won't be as long.